hair is clean.
Okay. Okay, so you you got out of college, and then what did you do?
Well, I had to go get a job, so I went down to the visiting nurses, and she talked to me for maybe a half an hour, and I got a job
Where was this?
in Lancaster.
But was it a hospital?
No, they had a separate office on Lime Street.
But
And-
what was the?
It was an independent,
Oh,
it was public health.
okay.
And I had minored in public health, and with my major of peds. Anyway, they assigned me to all the daycare centers and stuff like that. And I gave immunizations. I tried to teach them to, child care. And I looked between these kids' feet, and they looked as though they hadn't been washed, and I told them to go home and tell their parents to wash their feet. And then I got in trouble for that, because I guess they thought it was discriminatory. I stayed there for a year until I got married.
What kind of trouble did you get into?
Well, they reprimanded me. They told me that I should not tell the families to give their kids a bath. I was just trying to make them healthy.
Okay, so you're there a year, and then what happened?
And then I got married.
Wait, you
When
just
I
skipped a
got
huge...
married, right after I got out of college in November, and I stayed.
Okay, well, let's go back. Okay, we're trying to, you don't skim over that big of a detail, Mom. So what, you got out of college, how did you meet Dad?
I used to work I met Dad the year before my last year of college. I used to come home and work, do private duty or something to help pay my way through school. And my dear friend Ruthie, she was on a case right near me and asked me, we were working 3 to 11, and she asked me if I wanted to go over to this guy's house after we got off at 11. And of course I said sure.
Wait, 11 at night?
Yes.
Jeez.
And we went over to Dad's house. Ruth was married to Ed Lanius at the time, and that marriage lasted. But it was Dick Lehman, Ed Lanius, and John who were going to North Carolina State. They had gotten out of the service and they had made up the credits that they needed because they all had taken a course at McCaskey to help them make up their deficiencies in order to get into college. And of course, to make up the time when they had been in the service. And so they had to be tuned into the changes at what had happened during the time that they were in the service.
Wait, so what time of the year was it?
It was in the fall.
So
in 1946.
so you were 24?
I was 24, 25, I forget.
24. You were born in 22. So...
Okay, so I met Dad, and...
Was he 21? He's 3 years younger than you.
No, he's 2 years younger than me.
2 years. So he's 22, you're 24. Is it like he hasn't started the fall semester yet?
In what?
He hasn't started the fall semester yet? You said he's
No, no, and
So he's about to go down to North Carolina State.
yes, and
Where is he living? Is this an apartment or?
he lived with his family on Marietta Avenue.
So you went to his family's house at 11 p.m.?
Yes,
And Nana's there?
yes, and his father, and
So wasn't that weird to go to somebody's
No.
house that late at night?
no,
Alright.
and
And what do you do there?
I thought he was crazy because he said he was going to marry me.
Wait, okay, you go there, you meet him. What was it like when you first met him?
Well, I don't remember.
Did you like him right away?
I wasn't that impressed with him.
Why
He
would
was
you be?
He was going off to college. I never thought of it as a serious relationship at all.
Okay, but
But
why?
I did.
Mhm.
I told him I was going back to school in September, and that actually there were 4 of them, counting Ruth, should stop, and I would make them dinner at the apartment in which I was living, which they did.
Okay, so you lived in an apartment by yourself, or did you live?
No, I lived in an apartment with 3 other women,
Okay.
and then
Do you know what you made?
he went down to North Carolina.
Wait, did you make dinner?
I made dinner in Washington for all of them, and then they proceeded.
Oh wait, so when you went up, you were visiting your family in Lancaster,
I lived with my sister Kitty.
and then you were in an apartment in Washington D.C.
Yes, when I was away at school, I had to live somewhere.
Oh, so you're still going to school?
Yes,
Okay.
I
and
was
then-
in my last year of college
So they're heading down to North Carolina, and they stop at Washington to have.
to have dinner with us,
Okay.
and so
Did you made it?
I don't remember. I probably
Okay.
cooked.
Uh
I mean, no one else would have made it,
oh. Okay.
and
And then he goes.
then he kept sending me letters every day.
Every day.
Yes. And I next saw him at Christmas when he came home.
So he was like smitten with you, but you were like. It sounds like you weren't.
I wasn't that impressed with him.
Why weren't you impressed with him?
I think because I was almost finished school and I wanted to get busy.
You were worried about your career.
Well, I wasn't worried about it. I knew that there were always jobs for somebody like
Well,
me.
I'm saying you were focused on your career, not
Yes,
worried. Okay.
yes, that's.
So you're focused on your career. You're a serious woman.
Hmm?
You were a serious individual. You weren't thinking about romance.
That's right. And then he did come home at Christmas. I came home at Christmas, and of course, every holiday I had, I worked. So it kept taking me over to his house. And one time I said, I'm not going there anymore. And if you can't just take me to your house to sit on a chair. And for some reason, some other people were with us in a car. And I said, if you're not going to take me anywhere, just drop me off and I'll walk home, which I did.
Wait, so you wanted to be like go on a date? Like
I
you
wanted him to take me somewhere beside just his home.
So you go to the house and you just sit on a chair and talk?
Oh, and they would play poker, or they would.
Oh, the
I don't know.
boys, or?
No, we had 3 brothers
Oh.
and a mother and father.
What
I
was
guess-
Nana? What was
Would you be quiet for a minute?
What was Nana like? Like, was she nice to you?
I don't really remember. His father was very nice to me. Um, I guess Nana was non-committal.
What about like so Jim was old? Jim's
Who?
older. Jim's younger. Who's?
Oh, he was a second boy.
Uh-huh.
It was not a very happy home.
Were they all like friendly to you though? Jim and Dick and
No, I
Bob?
think Jim was married. Bob was married.
Oh.
Dick was the only one that was home. I had a different kind of family life than he did.
Well, that wasn't it because Nana and her husband, like his Nana was like a nag, according to Dad.
Oh, that's what Daddy always said. She nagged him.
And
She
he-
would go back to everything that ever happened to them.
But he was like
They were not a happy family.
he was high strung, right? He was like he had temper.
Who?
The dad, the father.
Well, he responded to Nana's, oh, I don't know what you would call them, threats, reminders, and I don't know that I would not have responded any differently
Okay.
if somebody kept nagging me about events that happened a long time ago.
So you said I'm tired of sitting here, and you walked home.
Yes.
But that
And
was wait.
and then he took me to the movies.
Wait. Before you okay, when you did this, he just let you walk.
Oh, yes, I got out of the car. I told him to stop the car.
Wait, where were you
Let me out.
driving?
He wasn't driving, somebody else was.
Okay, so they were driving you back to his house?
No, I went home.
No. I'm saying that's where you were headed, and that's why you said you didn't.
Yes, yes.
How far?
Well, then, would you be quiet for a
Well,
minute?
I need to get these details because you just keep passing over them. Okay, go ahead.
And then he took me to a movie.
Uh-huh.
And I can remember that we were in the back row.
Uh-oh.
And he was, of course, disturbed because he had to take me somewhere. And then we both went back to school. I saw him at Easter. I saved my money and went down to Raleigh to visit with him. And that was uneventful, really. And then we both came home in June. I had one more course to take, or a half of like a semester. And so I went back to college. I went back to the district and I took that course so that I could graduate, and came back again to Lancaster about the end of August. And at that time, we did get engaged. And he took me to Zook's store, and he had $350 that were his, what do you call it, the pay that they get when they leave the service. And that's, I have a diamond ring that I still have that was valued at $350, and they said anytime I wanted to trade it in, they would always give me that amount of money. So then I got married. And
Okay, wait. Look here.
Now, wait, would you be
Wait,
quiet?
no.
And John stayed
Oh, Jesus.
in Lancaster. He worked for Armstrong before he transferred to Penn State in the spring.
Okay, before you go on, okay, there's like no romance. You don't feel like it doesn't even sound like you like them.
I liked him, or I never would have told him that I would get married to him.
Yeah, but like you go to this movie. What movie was it? Do you remember?
No.
And a movie is a
It's the
dime,
only time he took me anywhere.
and it's a dime to get into a movie. Was he just cheap or what?
No, it cost over 50 cents to go. He had no money. He got out of the service. He went just to McCaskey to make up credits, and then he went to North Carolina State. He never had any money.
Did he try kissing you at the movies?
Did he who?
Did he kiss you at the movies?
No, he was cross at me because I insisted on being somewhere.
Did he? So he's cross at you, and then did he kiss you at your?
Well, you know what he was like when he
Well,
got
why
his,
would you? Okay, so a guy's all mad because he takes you out one time, and you're like, you.
It's amazing, John, that I ever got married to somebody that I only knew. That's summer. He's away at school. I'm away at school.
What was his letters like?
And then I don't remember. And anyway, when we decided to get married, he took me to see his Episcopal minister to introduce me, because I was a Catholic, he was an Episcopalian, and the minister refused to talk to me. He said he only wanted to talk to Dad, and he told him it wasn't a good idea for him to get married to me because of my difference in religion. And that, of course, pissed him off, and anybody to tell him not to marry me.
Keep talking, Mom.
If,
That was too loud.
nobody's going to tell him what to do. And
So he
then
married.
he
Wait.
had to take instructions from Father Schweik in order to get married to me. And he used to argue with him. And the day before I got married, which was the day before Thanksgiving in '47, he must have argued with Father Schweik, and Father Schweik essentially told him maybe it's not a good idea for him to marry me. And of course, at this, he said no one's going to tell him what to do.
Wait,
And
so
he-
did Dad marry you out of spite?
That we got married, and it was the last year that you got married in the rectory if you were a mixed marriage. The next year they let you get married in church. But I figured, well, if I'm going to get married, I'm going to have a wedding dress. I'm going to have bridesmaids, so I would be married in a church, which I did.
Wait, okay,
And-
so was Nana at the wedding?
Yes.
And was all the brothers?
And his father bought his mother a new hat to wear, I remember. They never had very much money because the father gambled and the mother had a job.
We were
at
talking
Baker's.
we're talking about Nana, right?
Yes,
The father, the mother. Okay, Dad, our grandfather had a gambling problem?
yes,
Like what he bet on?
on the horses.
Where was the horse track? There's
Down
one
in Maryland, but he could get it to Maryland on public transportation.
Wow.
I think it was Havity Grass.
What was his profession?
He was a tool and die maker, and he worked for Armstrong. But anyway, at the beginning of, right before the Depression, he left that trade to become a salesman, and of course, they lost everything, and that probably contributed to the unhappiness in the home.
When did he die? Like how soon after you got married did he?
He was through college. I moved up to Penn State with him the second year of my marriage, and I lived in a little apartment. I got a job. In the morning I did public health nursing there, and in the afternoon I worked at the school in their, I don't know what you call it there. I sent out bills. Anyway, I got.
Wait, let me.
Would you be quiet?
Well, no, I know you
please?
guys stop
Just
saying
wait
that.
a minute.
Well, okay, but how was after the wedding? Was there a nice party?
Oh, we had a reception at a place in Lancaster, and that